Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of CineWrap. Today we're going to be talking about Ted. I'm Ian.
And I'm Daniel.
Here we go. Ted is a movie written and directed by Seth MacFarlane, starring Mark Wahlberg, Seth MacFarlane as the voice of Ted, Mila Kunis, Joel McHale, and some other characters that you might recognize.
So Ian, what did you think about Ted?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really, really funny. I loved how clever it was with its comedy, because I was kind of worried about it because of Seth MacFarlane, writing the movie, directing the movie. Right. And I know that what he's done with Family Guy, so I was kind of worried that he was going to have, little segments of comedy that, didn't make any sense, which he had in there.
Right.
But he did it in a way where it was hilarious. Like, I was laughing almost in every scene. Almost every scene had something just absolutely hilarious about it. And then also I loved what they did with Ted the bear, because I thought the way that they're able to make the CGI work and him interacting with the bear, it looked flawless. I mean, it looked as if this teddy bear really did come to life, and just the way they were able to make it work really did well with the film.
Right.
What do you think about it?
I mean, I loved how it kind of followed that Family Guy style. I'm a big Family Guy fan. I did like how he brought I guess it wasn't the flashbacks, but he kind of had that style of editing in the film to where something would be happening and then you would see some completely unrelated scene, although it kind of made sense with what was going on. It was kind of completely unrelated, just for the comedy, to add some extra comedy in the film. It was hilarious. That's all I really got to say about it. I mean, editing was good, CGI was good. I thought the acting, everyone did a great job, I thought. Yeah,
I think it was very well cast. You have Seth MacFarlane, as the voice of Ted. You have Mark Wahlberg, who's hysterical. Then you have these awesome cameos with like Ryan Reynolds and Joe McHale from Community. And so you just have all these people in it, and they all just really work well together in this like ensemble-like form. But the real story is about Ted and what's his name? So they all really work together. They work well together in this ensemble form. But the real story is about Ted and the guy Mark Wahlberg plays. That's really the center of the story.
Right. And
it really, it's interesting because you think, what can they do with a man and a bear that comes to life? And just the way that's another thing I really liked about it, was how they start off saying, this is a bear that talks. This isn't normal. And they didn't treat it like it was normal. Like, people, when he showed the parents his talking bear, they freaked the hell out and were, about to shoot the damn thing.
Right.
So, it kind of like showed that and played on that. What would happen if it happened in real life? And then how he becomes kind of this child celebrity that, eventually people forget about.
It's something I wasn't expecting, the child celebrity thing.
But it was a good twist that they had, and it really kind of made it relevant, because it's a story that we know a lot. When it comes to Hollywood actors, starting out young, being very, very popular, and then as they get older, people just forget about them. Right. And I thought it was a really good commentary on that, and also about growing up, because it's all about this guy who is is 30 years old, and he's still connected to
he relies on the bear.
Teddy bear. Yeah. Thunder Buddies for life. It's just.
Which was also a great scene. I
exactly.
love the Thunder Buddies scene.
And the Thunder Buddies song.
Absolutely.
I love the Thunder Buddies song. But that's the other thing too, is that it's a comedy that it made a lot of money too. Like it was only made for about $50 million, and it's already made $90 million at the box office domestically, and it actually broke a record. It's now the biggest grossing rated R comedy of all time.
Really?
Which beat out The Hangover. So you kind of see how The Hangover used to be that film, and now it's Ted, and they're very similar in different levels, because they appease to that certain demographic that just really loves that crude, very, very harsh humor. And
crude's an understatement for some of the stuff they're doing. But I mean, it's comedy. It's gonna happen.
It's comedy, and it works very well. But that might,
2012 comedy. That's
Exactly.
what 2012 comedy is. It's just crude.
yeah, exactly. But that might be actually the only issue with the film too, is that it does rely on that crude humor, and that's the only issue I may have had with it. Is that even though I love the crude humor and I find crude humor to be hilarious, I know a lot of people don't always find crude humor to be hilarious because I've talked to a couple people that weren't big fans of the film, and it's probably because the comedy just didn't line up for them. It wasn't their style.
Yeah.
They like smart comedy. They don't like, in your face cursing.
I'm a big fan of it, but that sometimes the crude humor, sometimes movies rely on the crude humor too much, and they want the crude humor to bring their film to the next level, which as a director myself, I don't think that brings, I don't think it makes your film better. I think it ultimately can make your film suffer. But if it's a film about crude humor, it's a film about crude humor, and there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, obviously, that's what they were trying to set out to make. It's a raunchy bear.
But what Ted's able to do is that it actually is able to balance it out pretty well.
Right.
Because even in the crude humor, it's very smartly done. It's just things that you wouldn't expect to see or expect to happen, and then all of a sudden you see it happen, and you're like, wow, that's actually really clever. As crude as it may have been, it was really clever. So I felt it hit that balance. But I know that there were some people who weren't big fans of some of the humor that was in the film and didn't find it that funny. But you know what? I did. I thought it was great. I thought it was funny. I laughed in every scene, and I came out of the theater thinking, wow, that was a great directorial debut, like a feature, directorial feature debut for Seth MacFarlane. And also having written the script as well, I mean, I think we'll be seeing some more comedies coming out of Seth MacFarlane.
Definitely.
For the feature film.
So, what are you giving the film?
I think I'm going to give it an 82 out of 100.
82.
Yeah, I think that it's a solid film in every aspect. The CGI works, the script is really, really funny and works, and the acting is pretty good for a comedy film. And all these elements work together to make a really enjoyable experience at the movies. So I'm going to give it, an 82, like B-range film.
Right.
And I think it's a film that's worth paying to see. I think even worth paying to see it full price.
Full price.
I think that you should see it. I mean, obviously you don't have to. It's not a movie that you have to see, but it is a movie that I think you should see, and I think you would enjoy seeing. Yeah. How do you rate the film?
4 out of 5. That's what I'm going with. So 4 out of 5. We're similar. We're
a little bit similar. Yeah.
We vary a little bit, but 4 out of 5. I thought the acting was really good. The story was well paced. I thought the CGI bear was very fun to watch. Like you said, with the interaction with the characters. Overall, just a really good film. Seth MacFarlane did a great job, and I would love to see some more work come in the way of cinema from him as he branches away from Family Guy into cinema. So
we'll see how that transition goes, because for all we know, he could find a really good career making comedy films.
Because he does a damn good job.
Because this first one, he did a good job, and he's already made profit at the box office.
He's made enough to make another Ted already.
Exactly.
So $50 million, that's not a lot. It's a lot for you and me, but for Hollywood, $50 million is pretty much the lowest on the totem pole that you get.
That's not much above what a normal independent film is. So
actually, $50 million, is that considered low budget?
I'd say
I think it's
in that range, maybe a little higher.
It's right above, even though it's $50 million. I mean, I know people are going to be like, well, that's not low budget, but technically speaking, it's low budget.
It's pretty low budget.
When you look at what Spider-Man cost to make, $350 million to make, or $400 million to make a Spider-Man movie?
I didn't even look into that.
It's a lot.
But yeah, compared to other big budget films, and of course, if you compare it to the juggernaut that was Avatar, $500 million, 50 mil is pretty small.
Well, they invented Avatar. That was it was just one big invention. You ever seen it?
And even the effects in Ted were better than Avatar. There, I said it. I
don't really necessarily agree, but we'll go watch the special features for Avatar. I'll let you borrow, but
okay.
Anyway.
That does it for this week's episode of CineWrap. I'm Ian.
And I'm Daniel.
And we'll see you later. If you like what you see, please rate or subscribe to our channel or leave some comments below. See you soon.
So what are you thinking? What are you rating it?
I think, that's a good time for that to ring.